Hey guys, I want to make just a little reflective video for kind of veering toward the question of what is it, like the Inquisition within, toward like what does it mean to be invisible to someone? Or be that in general, even to yourself, especially to yourself. What does that really mean? It's not so much you can see me on camera just fine to some extent. And then what you may miss is the vibratory state of self that you may not sense or pick up in some kind of fine tuned way. And this is the way we can be invisible to someone, or someone can be invisible to us. It's more of a field, morphogenetic field in which you sense. Just much like when you sense the wind, you don't need to go, oh, what are its characteristics? Where is it? You sense it all the same. And so this much goes for when someone's like, I see you, and they do that little heart touch moment, like I know what you are. That is where you are sensing the underneath, the underlayer, the fabric, the essence of someone, the depths and the magnitude to which someone may express through. And whatever you have access to express through, that is the true self. It's not some personality that you monologue on about. It's not your psychological recycling. It's not your emotional patterns. It's somehow what expresses through all of these segues, all of these linguistic highways of the self, you know, all of these byproducts of having a human system and whatever and so forth. So for you to be invisible to me in some way, or I to you, would be for you or I to miss some sensory layer of the self. Um, it'd be like if like some people just don't understand sadness, like when someone's sad and like someone's just like not even cueing in that someone's sad in the room. That person is, in some existential sense, invisible to the other. It's the same as someone's mad if they're like you can walk in the room with the most enlightened being ever and have no fucking clue because you're not paying attention to that layer of experience, that either subtlety, that intensity, whatever that layer, whatever that measure, and that depth and that essence means to you. You're not paying attention to that. If you're not being attentive, you will miss it. Just like how all opportunities in life, in general, if you're not being attentive to whatever they might mean as an experience, and however they may show up in those regards, you will miss it. It will not even arise within your conscious experience, your aware experience, in an integrated way, like, ah, yes, I get it, I see it, I recognize what this is. You will miss everybody around you for where they really, really, really are. And especially if you're someone wants the best for everybody, you're altruistic and you're a healer and you want the best for everything and you're harmony this and optimal, self-expression and life quality and well-being and all this and that. Especially if you're about that, you should be attentive to all of this because you should be anyway. What is life worth to you? What is life in this moment that does not last that long for you as a life? What does it mean to you? How valuable is it? And how deeply do you simply want through that to connect to whatever it is that you have potential access to and experience as? Like, what value is that to you? And to whatever value you find that, whatever depth and measure that reaches within your soul is an instated value, you will be attentive toward, or you will miss it. Your whole life is a moment. You may live 92 years or whatever, but all of that happened in this moment. And if you miss all these layers of like an emotion or an energy just swaths over you, and you're like, fuck, just bathing in that surf, that surf gliding moment of whatever emotion and elation and all the profound sadness, or oh my god, the nostalgia because of this happened, like I felt wind and oh, I haven't felt that since 87 or whatever, you know what I mean? Like these different layers of the sensory self, like if you don't meet yourself at that, you will, because there's no, not even like a yourself or myself. You sense that self. If you don't sense those layers of self, you will miss it when it arises in everybody. It's just that whoever you think you are, whatever you sense yourself as, you as that sensed individual, the prime example for yourself, because you're the most familiar arising of that experience for yourself. Just like when you touch something, you feel the way it feels on your skin. You don't feel the way it feels on some other person halfway across the planet's skin. So you're always the prime example for your own experience. So be in tune with whatever arises, ebbs and flows and rises and crashes and, swells and aches and all that in your experience. And you will notice that in everybody else. And it will be magnanimously beautiful, because there's just an ineffable and indescribable depth that you will endlessly have no explanation for and struggle to find words, because you're so devoted to the mystery of whatever is arising here and now. And to whatever degree and measure and depth and variability you could meet yourself there. By meeting, I just mean like you're not running away from the constant arrival of yourself, and however it is. You will then meet everybody and every experience at that exact point of lucidity and vividry. And I really couldn't think of any more of a gift for anybody than that. No robot can experience that. No amount of buying cars, getting the houses, having 27 spouses, no amount of just acquiring this and that and enumerating this and quantifying that and blah 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 is going to ever just amount to the overwhelming intensity of just holy shit, the mystery of life. And the mystery is, I would dare say, more a feeling than an informational, acquisition or insight. Because you can have all the knowledge and all the everything, but you don't really even have almost a direct experience. Because when we say direct experience, what does it end up coming to? It comes to, holy shit, I get it. Why? Because you sense the way things connect. And so I just don't really see anything more mysterious than not what you feel so much as how you feel it. Not so much like what you receive in life, but how you receive it. Was it graceful? Was it rushed and chaotic and sporadic and, you know what I mean? Volatile, or was it graceful, elegantly poised, whatever, How did it come to be? And if you don't inquire how that occurs in your own experience by very innocently examining. By innocently, I just mean like you don't have any like predeterminations about how anything should happen, is happening, whatever. You don't come to conclusions, assumptions, and beliefs and expectations about things. You simply examine things exactly the way they are, and you appreciate them for what they are. Because even if you want to add something upon your experience, you want to layer over it somehow, it's just like improving yourself. You got to accept whatever it is to begin with, to then complement whatever it might frequent into, whatever its inclination might be, then you can lean it that way. There's no turning nothing into something, right? We can get into that whole, the void implies, the nothingness implies something, but there's no like snap my fingers and there's a triangle sandwich, like there's a process to everything. And if you pay attention to that connectivity, if you're attentive, you will get life in full, and you will always be full of gratitude, because I like this quote: no one ever starved with a belly full of laughter. It just means like you're never empty of an experience. Nature appalls vacuum. That's another one, right? There's no shortcoming ever in existence, and you will never be left in the dark, so to speak. And even if you are, there's no one there to notice. Just like how if you really try to find your mind or yourself, there's no one really there. There's no one there. There's always a sensed self, but there's no one there. So pay attention, be attentive to your life, and you will notice. If you pay attention absolutely in this moment, you will get exactly what life is all about in that moment. It will start to cascade in some kind of momentous alignment of realizations and downloads and whatever you want to call it. Integrations of some kind of insightful kind, and you just kind of connect the dots intuitively and go, wow, all right. Not that there's an end of the process. The whole point is that this process of what exactly I'm getting right now is the point of life. There's no meaning, but if you're looking for a point, It's the process.